On this episode of Latinas, we'll hear about the latest identity scandal, academics pretending to be Latinx, learn about community fridges, and so much more. Latinas starts now. Welcome to Latinas, the show that's all about nuestras mujeres in the Latinx community. I'm Tina Beth Pina. Recently in the news, we heard two separate accounts of white scholars in academia pretending to be Afro-Latina. With diversity, equity, and inclusion being the go-to buzzwords lately, what does this imposter syndrome mean? Elena Romero spoke with several Latina professors throughout CUNY to discuss this identity scandal and why it matters.
I actually knew Jessica.
Dr. Shirley Leyro is among the many Latina professors reacting to former George Washington University history professor Jessica Krug, who pretended to be Afro-Boricua in academia.
She was always very extra with her behavior and her attitude. And I always would question, why does she behave that way? And in my mind, I always thought it's because she's white. But I didn't mean white as in Caucasian. I was like, she's just overcompensating because she's a white Latina. She was so embedded in so many of the activist circles that to find out she was posing and she was a fraud was really shocking and upsetting.
So she made the service actually to Afro-Latinas and Afro-Puerto Ricans. So to me, again, it's very challenging how people can do something like that. If me, again, or you do that in your field, people will protesting in front of the campus. They will asking for me to come down, and I will be humiliated, probably escort me out from the building. I'm not sure that was her case.
White University of Wisconsin graduate assistant and PhD candidate C.V. Vitolo Haddad also admitted to posing as an Afro-Latina. We've seen similar racial deception in academia before.
We kind of have lived through Rachel Dolezal. How is this different?
I think the parallels are that they saw themselves as allies to the extent that they kind of embodied these personas. There are a very limited number of academic positions, and that the outrage that came out was that she stole this space from Black, Latina, and Afro-Latina scholars.
Reasons to why we are seeing confessions of racial fraud is unclear. Krug attributed her fraudulent behavior to mental illness, while some experts point to imposter syndrome. Regardless of the reason, it's made a lasting impact on Latina faculty.
When people see me, will they see her? Right? So on a personal level, it makes it harder for me.
Statistics show that Latinx professors represent 5% of college faculty compared to 20% of students. Latina faculty make up 2% of full-time professors.
Wherever there is a Latina, they have like a dual challenges. And one of them is that they are subjected to sexism within their job. And sometimes they are given more work. And if you don't have tenure, you don't have permanence in that job and you have to leave. And there is no another Latina and there is no role model for those students.
The other argument is that they'll use is that there aren't enough PhDs. We need to work on creating pathways for students who are interested in pursuing PhDs and completing PhDs.
Since 2006, CUNY has made a concerted effort to address the disparities of Latinx faculty on CUNY campuses. The CUNY Latino Faculty Initiative seeks to link Latinx candidates to faculty positions within the CUNY system.
There was a study back in the late, I think it was in the 2000, that it was precisely pointing out that there was a very low numbers of Latinos in the system. And as a result of that, they created the Latino Initiative. Now we know that the chancellor, he's Puerto Rican, and he has very close in his heart a desire to diversify the system.
The debate around racial justice and equality continues, and Latina imposters only ignite issues around cultural appropriation. The bottom line is this: hire more of us, scholars of color, because representation matters. For Latinas, I'm Elena Romero.
The COVID-19 pandemic exploded over 8 months ago, and while many continue to live in fear of catching the virus, more people are fearful of going hungry. An estimated 2 million New Yorkers, many of whom are Latino, are struggling to afford their groceries. But community refrigerators are not only combating hunger in underserved communities during this pandemic, but are also reducing waste and uniting neighborhoods. Let's take a look.
The fridges provide not only just access to food and eliminating food waste, but it's providing a different education about food and how community and food can work with one another.
Atlantis Gota is an Afro-Latina community organizer who helps stock a refrigerator on 120th Street in Harlem, one of over 50 fridges in the New York City area that stores free food to anyone who needs it.
Accessibility is the name of the game. No questions asked. It's an honor system. You respect the fridge and you respect what's in there, and you can take whatever you need. Every fridge kind of has their guidelines though for what can be put into the fridge and the manner in which it's put into the fridge. For instance, at the 120 fridge, we bag everything. And the bagging is for the accessibility of people taking things out, the health and hygiene of people accessing the fridge, the health and hygiene of the food, and the health and hygiene of the fridge in order to keep it clean and everyone who's accessing the fridge feels like they're being able to get safe food.
Other communities like Washington Heights also have a few fridges set up as well, and it's that idea of community and mutual aid that propels the fridge network forward.
For the Heights, the community has been very great contributors, not only with their time, but also with the food that they're able to give, whether they prepare it themselves, whether they either get it from food banks and just donate that food because they know that they're not going to actually benefit from it, and know that there are other people that might not be able to get online when those food banks are giving away those donations, or they might not be able to qualify because they might not even have a home.
I think communities of color have always had that community mentality. I think the roots of a lot of these communities have actually been mutual aid. That's really been how people of color have survived. I think now we're seeing a resurgence of it.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, over 15% of Latino households experienced food insecurity last year, long before the pandemic. And people who live in food deserts like Harlem or Washington Heights are often more likely to experience food insecurity because healthy food is harder to obtain where they live.
In Washington Heights, we do have grocery stores, we have supermarkets, but they are generally not the best quality of produce. And if there are, it usually goes to waste very quickly, and sometimes it can be very expensive. Meanwhile, we do have more locations of fast food places. Those establishments are obviously a clear choice for certain people.
As COVID-19 spread, the Free Fridge Network has become an even more needed resource. Local bodegas, restaurants, and churches have allowed the fridges to be plugged into their outlets. And now with colder weather looming, extra precautions will need to be taken.
All of the fridges will likely be elevated, if they're not already elevated, because of snow and rain, just to protect electrical and to keep it still running. And then depending on the location, they are looking at shelters.
Are you guys getting any pushback from, say, like the Department of Health or anything like that?
I do think it's going to be an inevitability of politics and hygiene getting involved, which is why keeping things as hygienic and healthy now is such a big thing for all of the fridges.
Comida para todos, food for everyone, is the idea behind all of the community fridges. And if you want to volunteer, donate a refrigerator or food, or if you need food, this Google Map shows you the nearest fridge and is continuously updated as more fridges are added to the network.
I'm excited about these new fridges. I just hope everyone's working in the spirit of collectivism and not individualism, because this doesn't work if it's just for the individual. This only works if it's for the people, by the people, and that's how it'll be sustained.
Although Latinos represent 1/5 of the U.S. population and about 25% of moviegoers, their representation on the big screen doesn't add up. And what Latina actresses have to go through to just land one of the few roles available to them is the topic of today's Caliente Caliente.
I would love to know what's your experience, because there's so many Latinas in the US and it still seems to be typecast.
First of all, they don't know how to place me in any other box other than Mexican. And it's funny because in every audition that I go is Latinas, but I'm always asked to reduce my accent or if I can do it without an accent. And for me, it's very baffling because you're looking for a Latina. I look Latina, but yet you don't want me to be Latina.
I wasn't Latina until I arrived in the United States. You know, where I come from, we're all just Brazilian. You know, you're black, you're white, you're brown, like it doesn't matter. You know, we don't say like, oh, I'm 25% Irish with like, 10% indigenous. Like that doesn't exist. I had an agent who told me that, my hair was this color, which has always been, growing up. And they told me I wasn't Latina enough, that they were having a lot of trouble getting me in the room because my hair was so light that I didn't look Latina. So I dyed my hair black. And guess what? It totally worked.
I'm blonde. I mean, I was born blonde. There's nothing I can do about it. So in Colombia, I was exotic. And still, still people found the way to, I wasn't playing the gringa, I was playing Colombian, because in Latin America, we know that immigrants, came from everywhere, from Italy, Spain, a lot of Germans.
I've been told to look more like Sofia. Can you act more like Sofia? Can you sound more like Sofia? Yes. Can you do a Sofia Vergara when she was, like at the beginning of Modern Family, that she was everywhere? And I'm like, wow, what is a Sofia? Like, is that a thing to do a Sofia?
Again, I haven't been asked to dress more Latina because I never audition for, I never get a role as Latina.
Brazilians dress very sexy, but it's not because, we want to look sexy. It's just because Brazil is really hot, so we wear very little clothes. But the accent thing has been really interesting in acting because whenever I go to an audition or I get an audition notice, sometimes like, standard American, please. And I'm like, I thought I was speaking standard American, but that's cool. Or they're like, oh, give us a Latina accent, speak like this. And I'm like, oh my God, why do we have to sound like that? Again, a lot of us were born in this country, this second generation immigrants. And, a lot of them don't even speak Spanish or Portuguese or whatever it is you come from or your family comes from.
This is something that I have to share. Back in June, I received the casting call for Latina. She was a scientist. And in the audition call, it kept saying, even though she has an accent, she's very smart.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
No.
And I kept reading that because it infuriated me.
It's something I think about a lot. I think in the African American community, there's like a huge effort to bring the community to rise, right? There's a huge effort from, I have an opportunity, I will hire everybody that I can, I will raise everybody that I can. And I don't see that, unfortunately, in the Latino community.
Dr. Antonia Pantoja was an educator, activist, and the first Puerto Rican woman to receive the American Presidential Medal of Freedom. Born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Pantoja spent much of her life living and working in New York City, where she founded what is now known as the National Puerto Rican Forum. She went on to create Aspira, an organization that is currently one of the largest nonprofit agencies in the Latino community nationwide, and also helped to establish Boricua College. In 2002, she published her autobiography called Memoir of a Visionary, Antonia Pantoja, which solidified her LGBTQ icon status. That same year, Pantoja died of cancer, but her legacy lives on through every organization she founded along the way. Dr. Antonia Pantoja is today's Badass Latina.
You gotta live a life of commitment and passion.
November is Puerto Rican Heritage Month, and correspondent Judith Escalona is about to highlight the work of Dr. Enid Santos, aka La Doctora Heroína, who's helping those on the island not only deal with COVID, but also the ongoing earthquakes that have left thousands terrified and homeless.
Uno de los pacientes que estaba esperando turno para cuando yo regresara a hacer la guardia, me estaba esperando allí y me indicó que mi oficina se había roto y que mi esposo todavía estaba en la parte de arriba.
Dr. Enid Santos's medical office was destroyed by a 6.4 earthquake that rocked Puerto Rico earlier this year.
Y cuando yo llegué, me encontré con las casas de los vecinos y mi casa, que no es habitable, por las X que le salieron en las paredes.
Remarkably, several of her patients were still waiting to see her. And so that very same afternoon, Cuchita, as her patients fondly call her, pitched a tent, pulled out medical supplies from her office, and began seeing patients. She also reached out to colleagues.
Llegaron psicólogos, llegaron médicos de varias partes del Caribe, de San Kitts, médicos de la Universidad Iberoamericana. Santo Domingo vino también aquí a trabajar, de Nueva York, Filadelfia, de todas las partes de la nación y de todas las partes del Caribe.
Among the responders, Centro of the City University of New York. Within a week, the single tent grew into a medical camp of several tents with additional equipment and medical supplies for basic surgeries, chronic illnesses, and counseling, all without government assistance.
Aquí los gobiernos te clasifican por partido político y si tú no eres del partido que está incumbente, pues la ayuda no llega. Y eso sí es un problema porque aquí hay mucha gente, por ejemplo, en esta calle hay muchas personas que son populares, incluso yo que soy independentista.
The current government administration is PNP, the New Progressive Party. Party bias is further impeding what Dr. Santos believes will be a slow recovery. She expressed concern for her people, especially the children.
Por ejemplo, las heridas emocionales que están pasando mucho de los niños. Por un caso que vino una niña aquí, como de 11 años, con idea suicida gracias a los temblores. Eso va a ser lento porque, como no sé si tú te has fijado que la tierra de aquí no ha dejado de temblar. O sea, va a haber muchos casos de ansiedad y de depresión por las pérdidas de la gente.
For Dr. Santos, responding to the needs of others is fundamental to human nature. The doctor has served the people of Guayanilla and nearby towns for the past 18 years, and she has no intention of ever leaving.
Yo me quedo, pero si me necesitaran trabajar en algún otro sitio, voy y trabajo y vuelvo otra vez. Estaría en los dos sitios. Yo creo que yo no la dejaría para irme a vivir en otro país, pero puedo trabajar un fin de semana y virar a la semana, porque no es lo mismo. Puerto Rico es Puerto Rico.
Como bien dice la médico generalista,
an island-wide news report called Dr. Santos La Doctora Heroína, the hero doctor, for her dedicated work. Much needed because the tremors continue. According to Earthquake Track, Puerto Rico's southwest has experienced 439 earthquakes in the past 30 days. Even then, Dr. Santos was able to open a new medical office in September. But with COVID-19 now ravaging the island, the hero doctor has been seeing patients remotely through online video visits. And Dr. Santos still dreams of someday establishing a hospital in Guayanilla. Judith Escalona for Latinas.
For more information on donating to Puerto Rico disaster relief, log on to CUNY's Centro PR website. Gambo is an ancient ritual practiced for centuries by the indigenous people of the Amazon. Although it's not FDA approved, many are now using it to treat numerous health conditions. Correspondent Gisela Sanders Alcantara shares with us her experience with Gambo.
I love going outdoors with my kids. It is fun. But lately, my knees started bothering me, and hiking has become painful. This picture shows how I feel. I'm using a stick to support my body, and you can see my pain. My doctor said I have osteoarthritis. Treatment consists on pain management and surgery if necessary. The condition has no cure. I didn't want to go through the traditional route of medication with side effects, so I started looking for alternative options, and I found Gambo.
So Gambo is a frog from the Amazon. Its name is Philomedusa bicolor. That's its scientific name. The way Gambo works is that it enters your body and does a powerful cleanse. It also works in a way that it's a natural painkiller. But besides all of these things, it is known to cleanse you not only in a physical aspect, but also your emotional body and your spiritual body. So the indigenous communities that use it say that it gets rid of panema, and they call panema like spiritual illnesses.
Maya Martinez is my Cambo facilitator. Her extensive research in plant and animal sacred medicines around the world led her to Cambo.
From the moment I encountered Cambo, it started to change my life drastically. So I was immediately called to it, and it's been 5 years since I've been working with it personally, and the changes have been so amazing that I really dedicated myself to studying, and so that I could help share those with others as well.
Can you describe a little bit how is the process? How do you administer the Cambo?
We'll start with the intake of a certain amount of water, and it's a vehicle to help the medicine move in your body, as well as eliminate whatever you would need to eliminate. We open little gates, which are what we call them, puertas in Spanish, where you burn the top layer of your skin, and you administer the secretion of the frog in that top layer. The reaction when you put the medicine, the medicine will start to rise in your body. You'll feel heat. There usually will be some sort of release. It can be an emotional release. Some people can cry or laugh or sing, or some other people can sweat or purge or use the bathroom. So I find that every person is very unique in the way that they react to it.
And there is no extensive scientific research or medical trials on the study of Cambo. It is important to emphasize that this alternative medicine is not for everyone. Individuals with certain conditions are at great risk, so make sure your Cambo facilitator is certified.
It's not something that takes care of your symptoms only. It's something that actually goes deep, helps you go deep into what the symptoms are coming from.
Cambo has been practiced by the indigenous people of the Amazon for centuries. I decided to give it a try. So far, so good. Plus, I changed my diet as part of the treatment. Now I'm able to walk without a stick, and I'm not in pain. For Latinas, Gisela Sanders Alcántara.
Remember, Cambo is not a medicine and has not been evaluated or approved by the FDA. El Museo del Barrio is celebrating Taller Boricua's 50th anniversary by having a monograph exhibition about the East Harlem-based Nuyorican collective, best known for its cultural empowerment and political activism. Taller Boricua, a political print shop in New York, will be on display at El Museo through January. Puerto Rican lawyer turned travel blogger Jen Ruiz has been paving the way for the female solo traveler for years. Now she's starting a nonprofit for small businesses in Puerto Rico, making her today's Latina on the rise.
I'm the first lawyer in my family. I'm one generation removed from welfare, we've really been moving it on up. And so I've always felt a responsibility to give back. I never wanted to be a corporate attorney. I never wanted to work really hard to make billionaires more billions. That was never my goal.
Over the course of her career in law, Jen Ruiz fought for those in need. Now she continues to give back while pursuing her real love, traveling.
And so when I left the law, because it was just too much for me to do and because I didn't feel it was fulfilling and because I had done my 12 trips in 12 months challenge before my 30th birthday, I was still single and childless, and if one more person told me that my ovaries were drying up, I was going to have a heart attack. So I decided that instead of panicking over that for an entire year, that I would instead just preoccupy myself with trips and travel. It was amazing. And so because of that, I realized that law was not my passion, travel was.
Ruiz has now combined her love of travel with her desire to give back and created her nonprofit, People of Puerto Rico, to help businesses increase their online presence.
I'm a content creator, and because I've seen so many people monetize their skill set online, my solution for that was to enable all of the people in Puerto Rico to do the same, or at least local businesses, the artists, craftsmen, things of the sort. So my goal is to find, let's say, a mask maker in Ponce who has beautiful masks, but maybe has foot traffic of 5 people coming into his store every day. And if I can get him an Etsy shop, and promote him on a website and make sure that I put a viral video of him creating the mask and people can see the process, then he can get orders from all over the world.
Using her experience as a content creator, Ruiz wants to bring that knowledge back to the people of Puerto Rico and teach them how to promote their businesses.
I come with the idea of like empowering you to do this yourself, right? So it's a shame that you don't know how to use that platform. Let me teach you, because you have really amazing things that then you can use that platform and use that moving forward without my assistance to make your steady income for anybody, painters, restaurants.
While her transition from law to travel blogging and now the nonprofit may have been daunting, Ruiz says it's definitely been worth it.
What I'm doing is helping people. I'm writing, I'm helping people travel as well, but I'm not using my legal knowledge, and I paid so much for that, and I feel like I have the ability to do something in a more impactful way, and I'm just sitting on it. And so many times I would see, you know, protests or political things on TV, and I'm like, I know that I have the skill set to do something. And so I'm very happy that I found a cause that speaks to me, that allows me to blend my legal knowledge with my passion for travel and hopefully make a difference.
And that's our show for today. For more information on what you just saw, check out our website at tv.cuny.edu and follow our social media profiles. We love sharing our Latina stories with you. And please make sure you tune in next month. We'll meet Storm Marrero, the first Afro-Latina ringmaster for the Big Apple Circus. ¡Uepa! Hasta la próxima. Bye-bye.